Salut tout le monde, it's your boy Adero, Lukael. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. This is episode 6. In the last episode, we spent quite a long time just looking at every book in the bookstore, and we didn't even get a chance to talk to the bookstore owner, but maybe we'll do that today. We also finally went and paid our debt to the cafeteria manager so that we have a place to sleep. It's now quite late at night, but we still have a little bit of exploring to do before going to sleep, I think. So let's see what the fascinating world of Disco Elysium has in store for us today. Without any further ado, let's jump right back in. Man, it's gotten dark out here. Mayhaps I should equip my flashlight? There we go. Alright, so I'm still not sure if you ever get forced to go back in your room. Probably at some point, maybe at like midnight or something like that. For now, we're still being allowed to look around, so I guess I'm just gonna keep exploring. Because I want to see if maybe things change when it's nighttime, you know? So far, it seems like a lot of the characters have, of course, gone to sleep. It looks like we can still go in the bookstore. Oh, it's locked now. Okay. She's finally closed shop. She was like, all right, this weirdo is finally out of here. Now I get to close shop. What about this guy? Better watch your watch around me, boy. Okay. Yeah, I'm fully expecting Kim at some point to be like, you know what? It's been a long day. Why don't we just go and get some sleep? We can continue this tomorrow. Are those kids still here? The kids are still here, and the body. Is today gonna be the day that we see the body? Maybe.
Trying to sneak up on me again?
No, I'm not. Yeah, Kuno, fuck him up. Is maybe this door open now? Nope, still locked. Has Joyce gone to sleep? Joyce is still out here.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Doesn't seem like there's anything new I can ask her, although wasn't there one with her like that I could try again? Yeah, I'm supposed to be able to try conceptualization again.
You're back. Good. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Yeah, this one here. Very high now. So it went from impossible, well, I mean, it's still technically impossible, but now it's very high. Plus 12, jamais vu, thought complete. So I think this time we will get to ask this question. Reach for something fundamental.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The fading pearls of her eyes look to the sea. Okay, let me whip out my dictionary again. I actually forgot to open it this time. And as always, we're going to need it. The parts of the earth diametrically opposite, usually used in plural, often used of Australia and New Zealand as contrasted to the Western Hemisphere, the exact opposite or contrary. The world of matter and its pale antipode. So you're saying like the opposite of matter, antimatter?
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
She concludes.
There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Oh. So is that the name of the world we're in right now? Elysium? The world needs a term of endearment. This world does not deserve a term of endearment. No, I guess it does.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
The petro-fascists? They invent so many words. So a fascist that has to do with petroleum, I assume? I don't feel like I have got the whole picture yet. I've got a clear picture. Let's proceed to another turn. No, please tell me more.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
Really? She raises her finger to her lips. Not a complete set? Are you saying we haven't been to space yet? I mean, if this is meant to be happening like kind of early 1900, I guess they wouldn't have been to space yet. How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Inside sideways? What shape is this world then?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
Wait, so, I mean... So I know we're like in a fictional ocean and country, so like you have to assume the entire world in this game is fictional, right? It's like a separate world than ours. Could their world not be a regular planet, or are they just like they don't really have the technology to prove that their world is a sphere, or like is it actually not a sphere?
ORG, Occident Revachol.
Right.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
Again, what the fuck is the Pale? We saw so many mention of the Pale in the previous episode, and I haven't actually taken the time to... I do have a book about the Pale that I haven't read yet, so maybe that would tell me more. But the game has been very intentionally avoiding to give me like a straight answer of what the Pale actually is. So at first I thought maybe it was like a substance. You need to use the Pale, so I thought maybe it was a substance. But then they talk about it like it's a place. Like they'd call it le territoire, which is like a territory. And then they talk about it like something that everyone has access to. So maybe it's more like a state of being for a place to be. You know, like dawn or like twilight or something like that. It's very vague and intriguing. Now she's saying Pale covers most of the surface. So is it actually just like some kind of void? Or like some kind of mist? Gray flares. Because when you look at the map, right? It shows the world's kind of like breaking apart on the edges. And I figured that was like a, you know, an artistic rendition. It's not really meant to be taken literally. But now I'm thinking, well, is the world actually like fractured like this?
A cold fear seeps into you.
Oh my god, wait. What the hell are you telling me? The Pale? What do you mean corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness.
What do you mean the darkened disk? The disk? I don't understand.
I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here.
So it hasn't always been like this? Is this like a new phenomenon?
But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
What do you mean by the complete set? A set of what? A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's gonna bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Like, none of the words that you're using help me to picture what the fuck the world is supposed to look like. And again, it feels intentional because she says, like, I don't have the power to really explain it to you. So it's like the game telling you, look, just gonna give you this very vague description that doesn't really sound like any geography that you've ever heard. And just make of that what you will, you know? The crowning of the world. Very disco. Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
I don't know if this even matters, like if it's just kind of flavor text about the world you're in, or if like finding out more about the world is ever gonna play into anything, but I would guess probably the former.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
Okay, I feel like again I'm not gonna be given a straight answer, but you said pale. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. Remember, we have a cadaver to attend
Oh no,
to.
Kim, don't you cut this conversation just when it's getting interesting. I want to know what the pale is.
His voice is low, but firm. All she can say is,
What do you mean not part of reality?
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
I don't want to. I want to know what the pale is.
I don't think your colleague would appreciate that. He has already been so patient with this whole exercise.
Kim, you've let people ramble on about the most pointless shit for hours and hours, and now that I'm actually getting into something that I really want to know, you're gonna interrupt me? Come on.
Let's continue with something else, all right?
Talk
You
to
can
Joyce.
ask about anything else in the world. Anything.
Is he like trying to stop me from learning about it? Why? What's in it for him? Talk to Joyce about the pale without Kim. How can I get rid of Kim? I don't want to do that. Maybe I can come here before like he wakes up.
you could sneak back later when the lieutenant is not here. Unless you can convince him to step aside.
Volition 4. Kim distrusts you? Aw, Kim, how come? What have I ever done for you to not trust me? Haven't I been perfectly reasonable this whole time? Volition even. Ask for Kim to step away while you discuss the pale.
Is what you want to do.
Shit.
But should you? He expressly stated you shouldn't hear about it. What if it renders you mad? Or catatonic? Or makes you lose your memory again?
Okay, so it's not that he's in a hurry. He specifically doesn't want me to hear about the pale? What do you know that I don't, Kim? What are you hiding from me?
Yes?
Well, now they're both locked.
Glad
Alright,
to have
that's
been
all
of
for now.
assistance.
Very suspicious. Lieutenant Kitsuragi does not want you to hear about something called the Pale, probably thinking it will prove traumatic. Return to Joyce once he is not there and ask her about it, or get him to step away for a second. Very interesting. Yeah, I hate how I can't scroll this thing. I don't know if it's like some kind of bug. Alright. If you say so, Kim, but I'll be back because I want to know what the Pale is. Not part of reality. What could that possibly mean? There's some weird, like, metaphysical shit going on in this game. I doubt there's really, like, anything new in here, but...
You hear someone walking around inside.
I'm gonna check just in case. Oh, we have two thoughts here. You hear distant traffic. Night is falling on this city. A maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. Okay. Is this door open? Still locked. And this is the place they said to come at nighttime, but he said tomorrow, so I don't think it's gonna be open now.
This door is made of metal and appears to be.
Yeah, okay. Well, it looks like there's not really anything we can do. I mean, we could go check the body this late at night, though. Alright, so everything is kind of closed now, of course, right? Because it's nighttime. So I guess we'll either need to go to bed or...
This Post Lavatorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front.
Why is someone shooting at a mailbox? Good mail delivery box. Pat the box. Or fuck you, mail delivery box. Why would I be so rude to this poor delivery box? Good mail delivery box.
The box seems happy. Eat shit, pig. Fucked by the coon. And St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore and best set mailbox also.
Okay, well, this basically just means fuck this mailbox, but in French. Baisse cette mailbox. Jenny is a whore? Who's Jenny? Have I heard this name before? Seems vaguely familiar. I feel you, mail collection box. Who's been vandalizing all these things? Mail collection box, you should man the fuck up. Been there, Post L'Aventurier mail collection box. Been there.
The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow.
It actually healed my morale. Seems cathartic, thankful even. Alright, let's leave. Can you imagine you do that and then you just kick it right away? That would be kind of strange. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 8B. Another locked door. What is this place?
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
A call box. There are so many of these. Main hall, building A.
An off-key melody starts playing after you ring the doorbell. Then a woman picks up the receiver.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid game.
Oh, she thinks it's the kid. This is the bookstore owner. Who's Kuno? This is the police. Please open the door.
Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I thought you were...
There's a spot of static that overrides her words.
But the doorbell is broken, and the bookstore shouldn't even be on the list anymore. So I can't help you. Please don't call here again. Thanks.
Okay.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead.
Andrew Orlando Hair, SCA.
You ring the doorbell, but no one answers. What an ominous name for a hair salon. Doesn't bode well for anyone's hair.
So this is what, like a mall? Like a mall with like all the stores listed and then you can ring at like any of them? Or is it just like a registry of all the stores in the area? Artemitep's boxing for young athletes and gym.
All you hear is static, but no one answers the call.
24-hour window, this one should still be open.
You ring the doorbell.
Wow.
But nothing happens.
Fucking fake advertising. Emma's Fashion Atelier.
You wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call box is silence. No one answers the call.
Fabron's taxi, the rest has been burned off.
Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't work anymore.
Slipstream SCA.
You hear static from the intercom speaker. It sounds as if someone has picked up the receiver, but isn't saying anything.
That's creepy. Hello, is anyone there?
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
This is a woman's voice crackling and fragile through the static.
Have you come to place an order?
Why does it sound like that?
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. A receiver must not be working properly.
Hold on, Tricentennial Electrics? I thought I was calling Slipstream SCA. Yeah.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
Sorry?
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice.
Do we know each other?
It's a woman, and she knows you. Your heart beats faster.
electrochemistry are always like, oh my god, it's happening, it's a woman, okay.
No. Something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
Do we know each other? Who are you? Where are you? Stand up straighter. Yeah, it's me. Here I am again, crawling back into your life. Do we know each other?
Michelle, just please.
She stops and you can hear her breathe heavily, her breath distorted by ancient static. Am I Michelle? Is that my name?
Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
She sounds like she's shaking. This distortion is so weird. It sounds like she's talking through me through like a device in my mind. Hold on, tell me what's going on. What did I do? Of course I care, so that I've been going through some tough time. I want to play it straight that I'm confused, but it's tempting to just play along. Hold on, tell me what's going on. What did I do?
Ever since I came to work here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
You too, huh?
A spot of static overrides her words. When she speaks again, it sounds like she's submerged.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget.
Forget about what?
She sounds like she's about to cry.
Oh god, please don't cry.
She doesn't answer.
Are you still there?
Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay.
What just happened? Was this all in my mind? What just happened?
Another seagull passes by. It's getting cold standing here, staring at the silent call box.
I don't know what happened either. We should probably stop playing with this thing.
Kim, did you hear this woman? Was it just in my mind? Like, can't you... Like... Can't you help me here? Fuck. Hang up the call, yeah.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read.
Volition 4, +1 wax cylinder, slipstream SCA? So I can try and call again.
No. Hold on. The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions. Forget it. Find something else to do.
Okay. Fortress Accident SCA.
Silence. No one's home at Fortress Accident.
It's almost midnight. Revachol Ice City.
Silence. No one answers the doorbell.
Main hall, building B, whirling in rags. Okay, so it's just all the stores in the area, I guess. So the guy, the cafeteria manager might answer then.
Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you.
Okay, so maybe he saw who it was calling. He's like, oh, not this fucking guy again. East Delta Pinball. Hey, that sounds fun.
Silence. No one answers your call.
And then an empty card.
This button looks new, but someone has removed the name card. Nothing happens when you try to ring it.
Okay.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
Alright, well, I guess that's all of it. And there's a fence here.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
Why am I looking at this? What kind of vehicle drove through here? Reconstruct the movement with visual calculus. Now I think we're getting into like the actual investigation part, finally. Like this is some Connor Detroit shit, you know, we're gonna like analyze the clues and then try to reconstruct the scene in our mind. But my visual calculus is only at 3, so I don't know. Why am I looking at this?
Cop habit. You look at everything.
Makes sense.
This isn't case related, you think.
I don't know about that. I think it might be. What kind of vehicle drove through here?
Hard to say. Your vision is blurred and you're having difficulty concentrating thanks to your relentless hangover.
I'm still having a hangover? It's been like a full day. Alright, let's try and reconstruct the movement.
No.
Shit.
These tracks are not interesting at all. Let the street sweeper just sweep them away.
Alright. We're 2 minutes to midnight. I feel like if I start a conversation, it might like get interrupted midway through. And this is where the body is, right? Ah, it sure is. The letter R wears a crown. On the ribbon below, a light above descending. Okay. So you're Kuno, I assume.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. There's something in there, not necessarily connected to the case, but still.
Why am I looking at you, trash container? You're just a trash container.
Well, it is a container. Maybe you're prioritizing it.
Lieutenant, what do you think could be in there?
Trash, food waste from the cafeteria. They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Could be evidence too.
Oh, so it's locked. Well, we should open it. Yes, I feel like there's something in there. Seems like a reasonable assumption. Then we should open it immediately. All of these. Seems like a reasonable assumption? So how do we get the lock open?
We could try using a pry bar. The one you took from my motor carriage, or...
Okay, it's midnight. Or, Lieutenant?
Or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
Oh. Oh, I don't have the tool right now. Okay, that's why it's 3%. Force time, jam the tool under the lid and pull. Okay, that's it. It's midnight. He hasn't forced me to go back or anything, so... Alright, so... Do we need the chain cutters or this thing? Pry bar? Okay, let's try opening it.
This trash container is locked.
Ugh.
The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags.
That's still only 8%, so we'll try it, but I think we're gonna need the key.
Force time isn't happening. You've jammed the pry bar under the lid, but it just isn't bending.
The fuck kind of metal is this? This is fucking shit. Okay, I'm not gonna insult the tool. Is it insulting the tool or is it insulting the container?
The quality of metal is not the problem. From what I see, it's sturdy enough.
He's enjoying your little failure. He finds it amusing. He's reveling in sweaty rage on your face.
Nah, Kim wouldn't do that. I don't think kicking the container is gonna... Okay, well, let's kick it then. Ooh, okay, might have hurt myself.
Unsatisfying.
Shit.
Hurtful. You hear a ringing sound, but not quite hollow. The can seems to be full.
Should not have done that. Let's heal it. If I hang from the pry bar, I'm scared it's gonna break the pry bar, so I'm not gonna do that. I can't pry it open.
Let's ask the manager for the key. This is clearly not working.
Alright, let's leave. Oh boy. So, we've got the body here, finally. Smells like spoiled meat and curdled dairy. A human being decomposes, yep. This kid's ladder is rickety but still climbable. And then what's this on the ground? Let me re-equip my bag just in case I find like any bottles and shit. Hey. Some money, some magnesium. This winch mechanism has been oxidizing for some years. And then a door to some building.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
Eternite? What is
It's
this?
nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack.
I think it's blocking a door. Why am I looking at this pile of the roofing material?
Because it's nice and orderly. Well-laid pallets. Easy on the eyes. Rhythmic pattern. Calms your mind. Mammals like this stuff.
The most basic, like, monkey brain thing. You see some stripes, you're like, rhythmic pattern. Calms my mind.
No. There's more to this. You get this strange feeling.
Yeah, I feel like there's a door behind there. What feeling?
Hard to say. It's gone now. Feelings pass, you see.
Oh.
Especially the small ones.
Okay, we'll have to come back for this then. With more perception. I can't touch this, or can't touch this. Must be on like on the roof. Alright, so I really think this is gonna be a whole thing, right? This is gonna be a whole ordeal. Because this is like the main quest. So I'm not going to start that now just because it's like midnight and I don't want to take the risk that maybe I get interrupted if it's too late or like something like that. I guess we're just gonna go to bed. I could check out that book that I have. There was still one book I hadn't read, this one. Medicinal Purposes of the Pale.
Medicinal Purposes of the Pale. The cover of this heavy tome features a number of esoteric symbols.
Let's open the book.
Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits of the pale. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book.
What the hell is a pharmacopoeia?
You come across the following explanation. While modern pharmacopoeia are continually updated by so-called experts based on the results of clinical trials, readers will find assembled here the timeless wisdom relied upon by generations of traditional Seolite medicine practitioners, Mesk mystics, and Ilmaran folk doctors.
I do really enjoy the voice acting in this game, like of the narrator. However, because he reads very slowly, it's very easy for... I don't know how to explain it other than like, I find it really hard to kind of follow along because like he reads much slower than I can read, and so because like I kind of lose track of where we're at, and then I don't know, it's just sometimes like I'll listen to him read the whole thing and then I have to kind of stop and just reread it again at my own pace for the information to actually register in my brain, you know? Which is why it's great that this is an edited Let's Play, because I can actually pause and just read the thing and then cut it in editing and you guys are none the wiser, so hey.
Finally, something to calm the angry spirits that have been plaguing you.
Sure.
It seems to contain descriptions of the medicinal properties of various ingredients that may be gathered from the pale, as well as instructions for producing a variety of herbal remedies.
Well, you should start by telling me what the pale is. Is there anything in there about restoring lost memories?
There are a number of Seolite tonics that promise to improve your short-term memory, but nothing that speaks to your condition.
Okay, I just want something that will soothe the relentless torment of my existence. Same.
What you're describing is booze.
Oh.
You don't need any herbs for that.
I mean, does it really... I guess it does while you're drunk, but then you have to deal with the hangover. And also, if you're depressed, drinking usually just makes you more depressed, in my experience, so it's not really that good of a cure. Anything about curing an apocalyptic hangover?
There's nothing in here that speaks to hangovers directly. However, while browsing through the various descriptions, you become convinced that you could assemble something from the ingredients listed here. Want to give it a shot?
Rub your hands together. Alright, book, let's see what you got.
First, you need to choose a base ingredient.
Ginger root, a sprig of fresh mint, or common meadow rue. Rue? Rue is a European strong-scented perennial woody herb that has bitter leaves used medicinally. Well, I don't have any of these.
Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle.
Mix it with a dram of whiskey, boil it with a tea made from birch bark, mash it into a paste with some aloe vera extract. Some tea, sure?
Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add?
A spoonful of sugar?
The combination of mint and birch bark make this tea relaxing and good for the digestion. It won't do much for your hangover though.
Okay, so I failed.
Would you like to try again?
Yeah, let's try again.
Very well. First, choose a base ingredient.
Ginger root?
Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle.
How about a dram of whiskey?
Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Pomegranate seeds?
You've created a delicious tincture of whiskey and ginger. According to the pharmacopoeia, it should increase your energy and focus, though, in your experience, it's only done the opposite.
How many of these combinations are there?
If only you could find one of these right now and drink the shit out of it. The book said it's good for you, so it would be okay.
I love my electrochemistry. It's always like, find that thing, eat it, smoke it, drink it. Like, he just wants me to experience the world and consume things.
Would you like to try again?
Yeah, let's try again.
Very well. First, choose a base ingredient.
Common meadow root.
Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle.
Mashed into a paste with some aloe vera extract.
Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Some wild ginseng root.
You've created a delicious tincture of whiskey and ginger. If only you could find one of these right now. Would you
I didn't
like
use
to try again?
ginger or whiskey in this thing, so I don't know how you came to that conclusion. This stuff is all a bunch of hooey anyway.
You close the book and find yourself staring at the familiar cover once more.
I want to try and concoct... Maybe there's like one specific combination that's the right one that would actually cure my hangover. I wonder what the right one would be. Okay, I've tried a few ones and I always get the same result. I always get the delicious tincture of whiskey and ginger, even though I'm not using them as ingredients, so I don't know. It's now 2 a.m.
You close the book.
Let's just close the book. I guess we'll just go to sleep, right? It's been a long day. Even the woman here has gone to sleep, and the guy there too.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
How long have you been up? A whole day. An hour? 2 hours? Pretty long. It's drink o'clock. Now I don't want to drink. I'm trying to stop drinking. Not now.
Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of lemon? Maybe lime. Maybe who cares? Just rum?
No, I don't want to start drinking. I'm trying to stop. Finish thought. I'm not gonna get back into drinking. Kim would not be proud of me if I did that. Do you have the key to that thing back there?
Can I help you?
Is the trash container out back yours?
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
I wonder what this feeling is. No, it doesn't. Nothing stirs in me, and it isn't callous. It's common sense. Why would it be callous? I mean, that's pretty standard that they would be the only ones with access to the... Nothing stirs in me.
Okay then. Maybe you're callous yourself.
Okay. We need those keys.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Ooh, the lieutenant's voice is harsh and sudden.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Okay. We've got the keys. Oh, there it is. Key to room number 1, key to trash container, key to apartment building. Okay. And there's something back there also. Oh, I closed the door. Damn it. I guess we'll go to bed. Like, maybe you can just spend the whole night up, it seems, because like I thought maybe like at 10 or midnight Kim would force me to go to bed, but he hasn't done it, so I guess you can just stay up however long you want, but just to err on the safe side, because maybe if you don't sleep then you take like a morale penalty or like something like that, so let's just sleep, I guess.
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Yeah, that's what I did. Good night, Lieutenant.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Okay, let's go. What do you want to
The
talk
air
about?
outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
I didn't know you smoked, Kim. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Okay.
Oh man.
I knew you were gonna
so
chime in.
Devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
I think I might want to pick up smoking. Do you have any more cigarettes? How did you get so cool, Kim?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
So you're aware of it. The light of his cigarette illuminates a fleeting smile. Kim Smile Mansion! He flicks the ash.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit.
I don't know. I think it's harder to quit than to just smoke your one cigarette every night.
Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit below it all.
Do I want to pick up smoking? I'm trying to turn a new leaf, you know? I'm getting a second chance at life. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to quit drinking. I'm not gonna pick up smoking instead. Alright then, the debrief.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day.
How do you think today went?
Well, we didn't even look at the body.
You sound just like my comment section, Kim. The lieutenant raises his eyebrows.
And there's still much to do at the crime scene too. We didn't search it thoroughly enough.
He would have put all of this more harshly, but he doesn't want you to feel completely discouraged. Probably because he's afraid that you'll just give up and keep drinking.
Don't worry, Kim. I'll be in much better shape tomorrow. It's all part of the plan, starting from the outside and working back toward the scene of the murder, right? I'm sorry I couldn't do more today. I'm just not a very good cop, am I? No, it's all part of my plan. You start with like everything else and then you look at the body. Yeah.
It's not my job to evaluate your methodology, officer. I'm just going through the facts. As for the interviews,
Fair enough.
we weren't able to find the union leader, Evrard Clare,
Evrard
much
Clare.
less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow.
Okay.
We tried to interview the Wild Pants rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it.
Yeah. Oh, do you get like a little recap like this with Kim every night? You get to like review the events of the day and kind of summarize what you have to do next. That's pretty nice.
I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
He purses his lips.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really must be important.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
Just trying to stay in shape.
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
What's that supposed to mean? Yes, it's part of the Jamrock Shuffle. I don't like to waste time, you know, my mind moves fast, the rest has to try to keep up. I'm training for a long distance run, I want to raise money for charity. Yeah, that's just how we roll in Precinct 41. I don't know why I do the things I do, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I'm training for a long distance run.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills.
He nods thoughtfully, tapping his finger on a cigarette.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
Hey. He looks at your snakeskin shoes and smiles. Suddenly, Kim Smile Mansion! How about that? Kim loves my shoes. See, I knew I was right to pick those shoes. So what are our powers exactly, the RCM?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
That's a lot of money. 1,000, why not more? Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
And why not more?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol.
Okay, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
So you don't arrest them, you just give them like a little paper that says they have to go to the station? How can you be sure the arrestee will show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
How interesting.
When power calls you, you come. But power itself is a fragile trick of perception.
Power resides where people believe it resides. I see, and if someone resists?
We are permitted to use whatever force we deem necessary, even lethal.
Damn. Wait, so if I kill someone while on duty...
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness.
Oh.
Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
Of course. Oh man, have you ever killed anyone, Kim? Have I killed anyone? What happens to the people we convict? Have you ever killed anyone, Kim?
Yes. The last time was 4 years ago.
Oh shit, Kim's killed someone!
He says it matter-of-factly and moves on. He has internalized it well. It's just that. A fact. A self-contained past event.
Okay, have I killed anyone?
That's an improbability. Perhaps even impossibility.
Why do you think that? I probably have. I don't know if I really want to know. Yeah, I don't know.
Precinct 41 is known for a higher-than-average rate of police violence.
Oh.
He's not judging you. He's respectfully acknowledging the difficulty of working in your precinct.
Okay. What happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
He taps on his coat pocket where he keeps his notes. And who makes all these rules?
The coalition government, and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
His gaze is absently fixed on a window below that just went dark.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
How do we not know that? It didn't happen that long ago, so like, shouldn't people know the history of how it came to be? Let's say it was the coalition government.
It's probably more honest, yes.
Yeah.
Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
The moral intern. That's the first time they've said this term.
Or if they think you do.
The moral intern, what is it?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
The Moralist International. I mean, Joyce mentioned the Moralists. But I thought the coalition was running this place. The largest political organization. So they're like the United Nations, I guess? If I didn't know them, how would you describe them? I really don't know. That's how bad it is in here.
Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
Okay. And what do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Dolores Day mention. DeLoreans, Back to the Future mention. Technocrats, an adherent of technocracy, yeah, of course. Government by technicians. Management of society by technical experts.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
Yeah, my rhetoric is really like obsessed with Dolores Day. Who was Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
It's too abstract for me too, brother. What is their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not.
Oh.
Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Wait, so they're like a political movement, but their motto is love, compassion? That doesn't sound very political, does it?
Something kind and usual. Something ominous. Something even a little feminine. But in a strict manner.
Huh. And what do you think of them?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
I mean, facts is the number one thing you should have opinions on, because there are things that actually exist and matter. By this logic, what are you supposed to have opinions about? He looks at the city below.
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him.
Oh. You like the moral intern?
Yes, I did, when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist. A blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky. They're not all that bad.
That's another leitmotif associated with moralism.
But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me.
I guess that's fair. I have an opinion on the moral intern.
Do you?
The lieutenant arches his brow, then pulls on his cigarette. It's a slim white thing in his fingers. Things are bad out there, point to the city. We need them here, giving us the right to police Revachol. They've done an awful job here. Have you seen the place? This isn't humanism. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting bourgeois rights. Mutter silently, immigrants, liberal kids, fucking men are turning into women. You can be such like a chauvinistic asshole on this game. I kind of love it. I want to say it doesn't really fit your character, but that wouldn't be true because you don't really have a set character. Like, you get to decide kind of how he is, but it's kind of jarring that like sometimes you will say things that are like this extreme, and then most of the time he's just kind of like nice and courteous. On second thought, I don't have an opinion, forget about it. I mean, it does look like they've done an awful job here.
We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
Actually, vigilantes is okay with me. Yeah, vigilantes sounds bad. Maybe we should make our own law? I mean, vigilantes sounds kind of bad.
Sadly, it is what we already are to the people of Martinez. Most of them, at least, especially the Union. Vigilantes. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
He looks at the roundabout. Say nothing and just look into the night.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag.
Just me and my bro just chilling here.
This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
They really don't like us here. The Union, the teenagers too. It's different in land. In Jamrock and the GRIH.
Why are they like this?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our two precincts.
And in Jamrock and the JRIH?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
He looks at the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
I hope our investigation will help improve the situation here, at least do some good. We won't change anything here. I mean, I don't think we're really going to change anything, but let's try and be optimistic.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
Yeah. This is a nice little moment, nice little conversation with Kim. Thank you for this.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
He puts out the stub of his cigarette and looks to the door. So you open the trash container. You have a key. You could use brute force to pry the lid open. Alright, let's get some sleep. Cam, it's 2 in the morning. Hope you have a good night. I guess he's in the room next to mine, right? They only have 3 rooms here. There's probably more, but you just don't see them. See you in the morning. Yeah. See ya. Good night. Bye. You know what this means? I can go talk to Joyce. Feel a little bit bad for going behind Kim's back, but I want to know about the pail. Hey Joyce, I'm back.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with at this late hour?
It's night, don't you ever sleep?
Matter of fact, I don't.
Better not to poke further, that's good. This way you can answer me some questions. Why is that?
I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. I'm old, you see.
Old, huh? I think I have that too. No, you're not. You look young. I mean, I guess I'm not too young myself.
Don't worry. It's curable. With questions. Ask me some. Little more lessons in basic reality. My favorite part of the day. Go ahead. Ask me anything.
Now that we're alone, what is pale?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
I'm really curious. I mean, Kim was probably trying to protect me, so I really shouldn't be asking for more, but I'm really curious about it. I want to know. What is the pale?
Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the interinsulary mass.
And what is an isla?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7.
So, are you just talking about the ocean? The tissue between the continents? So yeah, the oceans. Just water?
Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
You discovered 7 continents or 7 oceans? So Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this Insulinde. I thought the Insulinde was the ocean. And Insulinde is...
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Okay, what is the pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Okay, so I guess I was sort of right. It is kind of like the void, except in their world, the void is like a real part of their world. It's like this kind of nothingness in between the continents, but then how do you travel through it? Can you just like sail a boat and a ship through the pale and then get to the other continents? So they're not, it's not the oceans. Like they consider the oceans part of the continents. Like you have the continent, the surrounding ocean, and then beyond that is the pale? Is it here? Look around.
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
6,000 kilometers from the end of the world?
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer.
And there?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse.
An uproar of matter rising into the pale. So it really is kind of like this. This is like a real thing? I guess? Like that's kind of how I'm picturing it now. It's like just the world like evaporating into like these particles. A transition between the world and the pale.
Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor, marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's
A coronal mist. And then some kind of mold can grow in the pail.
the most disco thing you will ever see.
I guess it's kind of like how tardigrades can exist in space. So like in the pail, there's these microorganisms that can still exist in there. What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic.
Excuse me? Epistemological? Relating to or based on epistemology, relating to the study of the nature, origin, and limits of human knowledge. Now we're getting into some good shit. The study or a theory of the nature and grounds of knowledge, especially with reference to its limits and validity. I've never heard that term, but I actually love this concept. That's great. The epistemology. That's so fascinating.
The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
Wow, okay, so it's not just that there's nothing there. Like, it's not just like going into space where there's no matter. It's more like reality itself stops being a thing that makes sense. That's such a fascinating concept. I love that. It is very reminiscent of the Void in Dishonored. If we're surrounded by Pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola? Yeah, that's like my next question.
Oh, it is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path.
Sounds really difficult.
But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost or having our minds damaged.
And it affects the mind. This may be what happened to me then.
Extensively.
And how?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter.
I love this shit. This is so good. So, oh man, this is such a deep cut, but like, do you guys remember the Stephen King miniseries, The Langoliers? It's not really like a good story by Stephen King, but I remember the concept of it was kind of fascinating, where like these people get lost in a moment in time, right? It's like a physical place, and then these little creatures called the Langoliers like just come and eat the past. And so like the past is this place that you can visit and that just gets eaten by these creatures from like the void or whatever. It really wasn't a really good show, and like I don't know about the novel, if the novel is any better, but I found the concept kind of like just funny and interesting. It's past information degrading, yeah.
They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
And here I was like comparing it to the Void and Dishonored, and it's actually even more ambitious of a concept by how nebulous it is. Like, well, what if all the laws of physics, but also history, mathematics, like psychology were reversed? Like how, like it doesn't even make sense to think about that, you know? It's like I'm trying to imagine how that would be like, and it's like something you can't really imagine because it doesn't make sense, of course. But that's why it's so interesting.
Who says and who argues?
Yeah, who's say and argue?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue.
Okay, and what does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a radiation thing. Well, why would you expose yourself to the Pale then?
It's more for her. Way more.
Oh? You're not a civilian passenger?
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Train? So you can train to be in the Pale? Okay, entreprenetic is not a word. I love when you look up a word in the dictionary and it's not there. So you just Google it and all the pages that come up are just like Disco Elysium Wikia pages. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to look at that, obviously, but that means they kind of came up with it.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories.
Oh, yeah.
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange gray-haired woman in her lorry.
But so, is the Pale only over the ocean? If it separates the continents, does that mean... Or like, can you be on land and still be in the Pale? Like, is it... Can you physically see where it starts and ends? Or is it more like, oh, you feel it? Because it's like this nothingness, right? Do lorry drivers pass the Pale?
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships.
Airships?
It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
But if they do that, that means they're in there way more than just like even 22 days of the year. If that's their job, that means they're doing it all the time. So is that why the Pale driver, her mind is kind of like... But at first I thought her mind was deteriorating, but after having a conversation with her, she seems just fine, honestly. So you guys do have airships? What do your airships look like?
That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Are you over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
What is... And I love when I search for a word and then they just tell me what it is. What is entreprenetic?
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale.
Of course.
Or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
Also, the Pale, now that I know what it is, it's a great name for it. I love that, the Pale. Like, it has to be a name that's kind of like vague and a little bit ominous and like mysterious, and I think the Pale is like a perfect term for it. Because like, you know, in Dishonored, the Void, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's like, oh, it's the Void, you know? The way it's described and shown in the game, it's much more interesting than what you imagine when you just think of the Void, you know? It's more than just a void. It's like this kind of realm between like death and dreams, and like there's a lot to it. But the Pale, it evokes this kind of like sensation of dread, but also of like something very intriguing. It's a great name for it.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E-Solar. It was not merely in the west.
Oh, okay.
It was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
So they thought it was to the west, because I guess that was the closest Pale that they had, but it's actually like everywhere around them. Did they cross it? The Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
What has entreprenetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale.
Oh.
The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
But what about this radio signal thing that you were saying could like shorten the distance? Aerostatic craft?
Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale.
You can't move because the reference for motion is suspended? What the hell do you mean?
In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
I guess that sort of makes sense. It's just like how in space there's no inertia. Like if you push something, it's just gonna keep going in this direction forever because there's no force stopping it. Like the gravity is not affecting it. So in the Pale, because there's no concept of motion, it's just like... But no, it has to be moving because it reaches the other side. That's... It's a really fun concept to think about, but of course it doesn't make sense, right? It's not really supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be this place where nothing really makes sense, I guess. But these are the things that are most fun to think about. If we do not,
Then they don't.
they just don't come back.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
Oh. And how much pale is there compared to the world?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Slipping how? To our detriment, or
What do you think, Detective?
it's shrinking? There is more and more of the world? It's growing? There's more and more of the pale? I mean, it really could be either one, right? It could be that it's kind of shrinking, and like it's this space that's slowly disappearing, the world is just taking more of it. But of course it's much, much more ominous and terrifying. It's actually expanding, and that the world is shrinking.
Precisely.
Yeah.
One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate.
That would definitely cause some existential dread.
An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
I mean, it's not extreme at all. It's going to happen.
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
All right, let's return to reality, please.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
Nothing, just alcohol fumes and blackout. I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good. I'm getting a sense of who I am, but no, I didn't know this. I mean, we've been getting these, I guess, short glimpses of like past memories, right? When we hear of like Dolores Day and like a few of these other moments where like it seems like our subconscious is kind of like trying to remind us about something, and then the feeling just goes away. But as the player, I guess, of course, this is the first time you're hearing of any of this, right? I guess nothing, just alcohol fumes and blackout.
Then tell me, what do you think of the pale?
It's terrifying. You were right, it's disco. It will end all life. That we continue to persist at all is a testament to our faith in one another. Its advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism. A powerful anti-communist force, perhaps too powerful, but still, they have it coming. I'm worried. I have to say it doesn't sound very liberal to me. Why is there so many political statements in this thing that's like existential? I don't know how you've all survived with it. It's a huge accomplishment. Who am I to think anything of it? I mean, if there was an option that said just like, it's fascinating, that's kind of what I would say. It is also terrifying, of course, because we don't know at what rate it's expanding. So it could be like we still have millions of years to live, and like it's a problem for our much, you know, just kind of like how the sun will eventually expand and like destroy everything on Earth. But like we're talking about something that will happen in like millions and billions of years. So it's like, like, is it terrifying, or is it just kind of like, well, that's not really my problem, and it's not really going to be anyone's problem. Like, there's unlikely to be any humans left at that point. So, but if we're talking about like, oh, it will happen in our lifetime, then that's a different thing. I would say it's pretty disco. Her eyes tense, crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
I'll handle it. It's under control. This investigation will be my masterpiece, the one they remember me by, I promise. Yes, I'm in serious trouble here. It'll be a fucking disaster, I know it. All those people will die. No, I'll handle it, don't worry. It's under control.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent.
You did, huh?
In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
Yeah, I bet. Don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of it. Like you said, Kim is very competent. I love that she ran a check on him. Did she run a check on me? I guess she can because she doesn't know my name.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
She's very, very helpful. She has a lot at stake in this investigation, and then this policeman shows up, like blackout drunk, I guess not drunk, like hangover at this point. In this complete hangover, looking terrible, and just telling her that he doesn't remember anything, and like he needs her to explain basic concepts of reality. And very patiently, she explained everything to us, from the history of the world to like what the Pale is, and like even details in the investigation. So like she's been nothing but helpful. I love Joyce. What is something close to you? +1 RCM Kim debrief done. This is a very low chance, but you never know.
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again.
You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset? Is that me? He lost his mind? Are they talking about me?
We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
She says energetically. The Revachol Citizens Militia?
Preciso mundo.
Good, and what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Like if... Okay, so a policeman comes to you and he's asking you, what is reality? Who am I? What is this? Who are you? It's like... And she's charging me with this investigation when really the only rational response would be like, yeah, sure. And then you call the ambulance and you get me committed to like an insane asylum because I obviously need like some serious like psychological help. But she's just like, oh no, this is what the police is. And like, she's doing this knowing that like I have a form of authority in this town. Like, I mean, I don't have a gun at the moment or a badge, but still I'm supposed to be like a figure of authority. And she's like, no, yeah, that's fine. You can be a policeman. Like at the very least, you would think she would call my police station, like my precinct, and be like, hey, you guys, the guy you sent, he's not well. You really should take care of that. Very tolerant of her. Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement. You said de facto?
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
You mean laissez-faire? So I'm basically a lackey of capital. So I'm basically a thrall to foreign interests. So I'm basically one of the good guys. So I'm basically going to avoid this subject and ask the next question in this line of inquiry. I mean, if it's to the benefit of capital, then I guess I am a lackey of capital.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it.
She leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
You mean me specifically, or just the RCM? Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown.
Yep, heard about that one.
They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility.
Oh, okay.
The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that they called it the international zone, but I guess that makes sense.
So permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
You sure are. She bows and smiles. Alright, that's it for our conversation with Joyce. For some reason, time hasn't passed, even though we've had this very long conversation. I wonder how come time hasn't really moved that much. We also got a new skill point. And you know what new skill point means? It means we're gonna read the last row of descriptions, which I think I hadn't, right? I think we read physique last. Hand-eye coordination, cool for trick shooters, snipers, jugglers. Hand-eye coordination loves the interactions between you and things that fly in the air. It enables you to catch coins from mob bosses, shoot straight, and understand firearms intimately. Want to know the precise make and mark of a pistol? HE coordination's got you. Want to shoot someone with it? Ditto. At high levels, hand-eye coordination makes you deadly, supposing you have a weapon in your hand. But once you do, HC coordination will compel you to take the shot, even if it's not the best approach. At low levels, however, you'll be even more of a disaster in waiting, because when the guns go off, and they always do, you'll probably hit the wrong target. Perception. Cool for fine detail detectives, sensualists, urban scavengers. Perception wants you to be open to the world, with eye, ears, and nose working at full capacity. It enables you to take in what others don't notice. The little wad of bills hid away in a sugar bowl, the odor of a perp hiding beneath the floorboards, the gulp of a suspect after claiming they've nothing to hide. At high levels, perception takes in every final detail of the physical world, enough to overwhelm all but the strongest mind. However, with low levels, you are going to miss out on everything. After all, you can't arrest what you can't see, hear, or smell. Reaction speed, which is our only skill, still at 1, so we might put a point in that. Cool for shot dodgers, thinkers on their feet, pinball heads. Reaction speed is the agility of your body and mind. It is instinct. It enables you to dodge punches, knives, bullets, also sucker punches of the verbal kind. You'll be more streetwise, never lost for words or lacking a witty comeback. Your mental alacrity. My what now? That's your promptness in response, cheerful readiness, okay. Your mental alacrity lets you connect little details on the fly, working in tandem with your intellect skills. At high levels, reaction speed makes your twitch reflex freakishly good. However, when your body acts before your mind, innocent situations can turn bad fast. You're high-strung, overly alert. At low levels, though, you won't be the one shooting first, which probably means you won't be shooting at all. I sound like a broken record, but these are so well written. Like, they're worded very cleverly. It's just a joy to read. Savoir-faire. Cool for acrobats, thieves, unbearable show-offs. Savoir-faire urges you to be better than you are. It urges you to be disco. Slip by others in Samoran boxing style, then tumble out the back with unexpected acrobatics. It enables you to move with silent footsteps, to groove to a good beat, and to lift useful evidence of perps without them noticing. It also makes you a cooler cop, whose athletic flair will certainly impress the citizenry. At high levels, savoir-faire will make you the king of cool, which is as much to say the most stylish douchebag in Revachol. Nobody will see you until you're ready to be seen, and then they'll get the full treatment whether they want it or not. At low levels, however, you'll be a bumbling, feckless cop, unable to catch a pair of keys thrown by your partner without losing an eye. Wow. Interfacing, cool for mechanists, tinkerers, instrument players. Interfacing wants you to connect to machines, to use and improve them, because that makes you a better human organism. It enables you to understand interactions with machines, be that how to repair the motor of a Kinema motor carriage, how to analyze the way a suspect used a pen, or how to refigure electrical circuits. It even lets you steal keys off a keyring without being noticed. At high levels, interfacing will isolate you from society. Why bother with people when you can talk to machines? And why bother with things like money when you can just pocket the display sandwich? At low levels, however, you will have a crucial part of the world cut off from you. People use machines to commit crimes all the time. If you can't understand how a crime was accomplished, how can you solve it? And finally, composure, which is our signature skill, I believe. Cool for card players, military fetishists, cool people. Composure wants you to not crack, or at least it wants you to not crack in front of other people. It enables you to put up a strong front. It keeps your emotions hidden from the world and helps you to read the body language of others, to sense the cracks in their own composure. As well, it keeps you looking good while you do it. You'll rock that disco outfit a lot more if you don't slouch. At high levels, composure makes you tuck your gut in and maintain a stern expression. Even lying in bed late night when no one else can see you, you'll have to keep it up. You'll never be able to stop. With low composure though, you'll always be the first to crack. Every cup's got a point when all that fear and rage comes spilling out. And the ones who unleash it don't stay on the force much longer. Perhaps worse still, you won't even make the ranks of fashion police. Looking back, I'm not sure I would have put my signature in that one. I mean, I didn't even know I was putting my signature in that one when I made my character. I thought I was putting it in perception and that I had 3 points to put it in. Well, reaction speed is my only skill that's at 1. Now, given that's because of one of my items, but we could put a point in that. I tend to try and keep everything like a little bit more leveled, right? So because reaction speed is my lowest one right now, I think I'm gonna put a point in that. Yeah, so now at least it's at 2, which isn't great, but it's better than 1. And might also give me like a new thing. I don't know. Well, it is very late. So after this fascinating conversation with Joyce, I guess we'll finally go to sleep after all this time. So if we meet characters that seem like they're psychologically like damaged a little bit, it could be that they were over-radiated by the Pale. So like that lorry driver would be one, and then maybe that guy that's just standing outside and like that doesn't seem to be all there. Although this guy could just be drunk, I guess. So what happens if I just knock at his door? Okay, it's just locked. Well, let's get in our room. What's this again? Empty cassette case. Oh. Okay. Can I not pick this bottle? I guess not. This thing has stopped spinning. Wasn't it spinning before?
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
Oh, I can retry the visual calculus. It's now at 83%. +1 has been here a while.
The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
Did I break it with my own hands? Look at them.
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent.
Well, what did this then?
More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact.
Wait, what am I doing?
Something you've done before.
Oh, assess the size of the impact?
It is too large for a bullet, yet
Yeah.
too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist.
Could be like a full bottle, maybe?
The shoe you found on the balcony fits the hole almost as well as your foot.
Okay.
It would have also been heavy enough if thrown with force. Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe.
Case solved. Maybe it wasn't me. I'm sure I had a good reason for it. Maybe I was trying to hit someone? What a stupid thing to do. Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
Pretty much. But hey, at least you found your shoe. Not that it will keep you warm at night.
Okay, well, hey. Case solved.
The window stands broken.
We can pick up this bottle here. Can't pick this. Oh, can pick these too. The bottles don't get highlighted, So you kind of have to just notice them. Like this one there. I can pick up this one on the ground, I guess, just because it was like relevant to the story. Should I try and get my tie again?
This fan has 2 chain pull switches, or has it been consigned there as punishment?
Alright, grab the tie is now at 83% because the fan is turned off, so let's try it.
You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade. Warning, warning, the necktie is no longer contained.
Good.
What you have in your hand is a fantastically colorful tie with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds you of a noose.
Okay, that's very dark. 4 or 5 patterns seems a little too much for one tie, but okay. Pull on the light bulb.
A terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. You can practically feel the photons burning a hole in your brain.
I mean, I am going to bed, so I guess I will turn it off.
The lights are off.
Alright. Show me tie. Also, what is this empty cassette case? There used to be a tape in this case, but it was destroyed in a fit of rage. Oh. Something about the Etenier's single smallest church in St. Science? Must have rubbed someone the wrong way. The label says the song was recorded in 43. Okay, there's the tie. +1 Inland Empire. Horrific necktie. +1 vivid imagination. That's a lot of patterns indeed. The necktie is adorned with a garish pattern. It's disturbingly vivid. Somehow you feel as if it would be wrong to ever take it off. It's your friend now. You will betray it if you change it for some boring scarf. I guess we'll see about that. I could look at the mirror and maybe stop doing that face. I mean, I do love that face.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Oh, I can't even stop doing it. So I've really just been making that face this whole time. I could try and fix the faucet with the chain cutters. Yeah, let's do that.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it,
That's
your
still
face,
pretty low.
adorned with the expression.
Use your chain cutters to fix the faucet. Stop steam from fucking up the mirror.
The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. Well, you know one thing for sure. You've probably never been a plumber.
Probably not. Okay, what if I put on these, my interfacing gloves and then try again?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Oh, I
In it,
can't?
Your face.
Oh, I can't. I thought if you put on, like, a clothing that gives you a stat, you could try again, but I guess it's not so simple. Alright then. So much for that. Let's just go to bed.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
That doesn't even look like a bed. Again, it's more like a couch that's been destroyed. Let's crawl in. That's the end of our
The sheets
first
feel
day.
at once coarse and clammy against your skin.
Ugh.
The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes.
It's been a long day.
And then sleep. And then sleep doesn't come.
Uh-oh. We're back into the void. But I want to sleep.
Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening.
I hate this because this is basically what happens to me pretty much every night. I suffer from a lot of insomnia, and so I find myself in this exact situation quite often. Why?
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
Let's check the pillow.
Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps.
Ugh.
The pillowcase smells oddly.
Ew. Check the blanket.
It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily.
Let's roll over to the other side.
It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
No more thoughts. Fall asleep now.
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Oh Lord, now we're really in the pale. We're in the freaking void. Okay, you want me to go where the body is? Sure. Oh, that's comforting. You know, there's actually a lot more disco mentions in this game than I expected.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
Bloated corpse of a drunk? What is this? I remember nothing. I was born in a hospital where people usually go to die. I remember nothing.
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
Tell me what this is. I'm not answering before you tell me who you are. You said who? I left? I was left? Yeah, tell me what this is.
You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets, wandering. It's the worst day of all time, Harry dear. And it's coming. She will hear about it on the phone.
So Harry? I guess that's my name? I mean, it's not my wife's name, that's for sure, so I guess that's my name. The worst day of all time.
Reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This will be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the love of your life?
Who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth?
No. I was probably left?
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you.
Because this is my corpse talking to me, does that mean this is Harry's voice? Like, does that mean I sound like that? I hope not.
Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I can get it all back. I don't want to come back. I mean, it sounds like I don't really have anything nice to come back to, huh? So I'm not sure I want to come back.
They were only cramping your descent into the abyss. Now they're gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. All of it. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
Elysium. Elysium is the whole world. So you're saying I failed the world? What is Elysium?
Everything. The pale and the islas. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
Well, at least it's good to know that there's only 4.6 billion people in this world. That's much better than like the 10 billion we had in Detroit. I guess they don't have as much of a problem with overpopulation in the Elysium. I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
I'm trying to solve this case. My mind is tired and broken. Help me. I'm trying to solve this case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type?
Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Something tells me this was not a very rejuvenating sleep, was it? And it's now 7:30 in the morning. Nice and early.
Good going, buddy.
Oh my god, what the hell was that? I just had the most beautiful dream. Uplifting, rejuvenating. Is that how it's going to be now when I close my eyes? That's very funny. I just had the most beautiful dream.
Really? Because you feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
What the hell is going on with me?
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Why is this happening? No, that's not it, really. I feel super good. No, yeah, I feel great.
That's not really true. Your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more.
Okay, so I feel like shit because I'm in withdrawal because I haven't been drinking or taking drugs. That's probably what it is.
Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself.
Wait, what is speed?
Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover.
So that's what
How
happened.
else did you think you even got up from this floor?
I guess that's a good point.
You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago with me. To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die.
Oh man, that means I only had like 5 hours of sleep and it was a shitty sleep too.
Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple.
I need to get more of it then. Detecting is my life. No, I can take this. I am not going to go looking for speed.
Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired.
Who am I kidding? Of course I want some speed. That's a lie. I can do this without the speed. Half the town won't be dead.
Suit yourself. Slow, sad shell man. See how you do without your spark.
Fine, I will. I'm not gonna listen to you, electrochemistry. You don't want what's best
mirror
for me.
hangs on the bathroom wall. In it.
Why is this locked? Huh. Let's get the old toolbar in here. I wonder if Kim got up nice and early or if he's still sleeping. It's nice and, I guess, sunny outside? Nope, it's pretty dark. Morning, Cam. He's not up. Maybe he's already down
The
there.
door is closed.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of people here now. Well, well, well. And Kim is up, of course. Of course, he got up before me. Good morning.
Morning.
Gives you a quick nod.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
Why do we need to talk to them? What do you mean rowdy? Are these the men Guard told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep.
Oh, you too?
It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about. And one big problem to replace it.
He crosses something out. What do you mean rowdy?
I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union. These men here, men who drink beer for breakfast, there's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys.
The Hardy
who are
Boys?
responsible for state policing. I think it's them.
Fucking Hardy Boys? Do I have any fellow pro wrestling fans in the audience, to my great shame? And why do we need to talk to them?
A lot of things point to the Dock Workers Union. The circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information. Actually, that's not a lot of things. We should have dug up more yesterday. Still, we need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
There are so many of them. Maybe we should call in reinforcements?
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay?
Yeah, okay. Let's roll,
One
baby.
more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Okay.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first.
But like, I thought they were gonna be here late at night, not early in the morning. What if they leave if I go do something else? I mean, I do want to go maybe check the body first.
But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Kim, why do you keep leaving decisions to me? I should be following your lead here. Like, this really should be your investigation, and I'm just like the bumbling idiot trying to assist you. I don't know why you're leaving everything to me. I mean, I know because I'm the player, but why? Why are you leaving things to me, Kim? It's such a terrible idea. Does this guy have anything new to say?
Can I help you?
Goodbye. What about you?
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Howdy, Lena. What's kicking? Good day, ma'am. Everything all right? Sorry, ma'am. Didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Tell me how I might make it up to you. You seem busy. I'll come back later. Howdy, Lena. What's kicking?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working.
A faint smile tells you she appreciates the effort, but at the moment her mind is on more serious matters.
Do we have a phone we can lend her?
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Who's Gary? Wait, what's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
She frowns. Why did you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them.
Really?
I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before? This sounds more like a side thing. I need to take care of my main thing, then I'll get back to this. No. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
Okay, well, hopefully he's not the guy dead hanging from the tree in the back, but that body has been there for a long time, so she would probably know about it if it was.
But you have more important things to worry about.
What is this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect.
Really?
But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
Well, it could just be that the gate is broken, right? That's why you can't come back?
The water lock.
Yeah.
That was broken. Could this be it?
Wait, who is this Gary person? Do you trust him?
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that.
She smiles.
Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
Okay, well, the water lock on the other side of the coast is broken, so they're probably just stuck over there.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
Do I know? Did they say what happened? Probably just some technical problem.
Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
Will do.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect.
That would be great.
Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
I would love if some weird cryptic insect had to do with the murder.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
The water lock's supposed to get repaired on Wednesday, yeah. It's only Tuesday right now. If I see him, I'll let him know you're here. When or if I get there. I really spent too much time on this site. No, of course, I'll help you.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
So your husband is some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
What is cryptozoology?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
The lieutenant sounds unimpressed.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
I'm sorry, Lena.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
Your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious.
But so they do exist. Like, even if something is really rare, as soon as at least one exists, that's no longer really cryptozoology, that's just zoology.
Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless. And frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles.
Oh no.
They are her own.
Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids plus one less worried about husband.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
Hey Lena, I'd like to hear about some of the cryptids you've studied. But wait, she's his wife, so she's not a cryptozoologist herself. It's just her husband who is, right? Could you just tell me about a couple of them?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
Already wasting time.
One cryptid, not a couple. 1. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
Okay, Kim, just one little cryptid, promise. Cryptid extravaganza, I like the sound of that.
And I don't. Just one.
Alright.
Or he'll be disappointed in you.
Oh, can't have that. Already the game is like so self-aware, just making fun of you.
Ooh, tough choice there.
What's the biggest cryptid? The tiniest cryptid? The most dangerous cryptid? Invisible cryptids? What is the most dangerous cryptid? I want to know about all of these. Damn it, Kim. Why must you rain on my parade? Alright, I'll bite. What's the most dangerous cryptid?
The gnome of Jeroma.
Oh, I've heard about this one, actually. There was one mention of this before. I don't remember the context, though. That doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, it is. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
Okay, then how does anyone know that they died from that thing? What did this cryptid look like?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
Could have just been like a little person.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of this very little species?
Kim just can't help himself. He's like, I know I said I wasn't going to engage in this conversation, but I have to ask.
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
She says mostly to herself. Kim, let me ask about the other cryptids. What's the biggest cryptid?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
But Kim, don't you want to hear about another cryptid too? It'd be dishonorable to renege on the promise. I mean, he clearly doesn't want to hear about them.
The lieutenant pauses thoughtfully. Something in him breaks.
Oh no.
Ah, fuck it. Let's have more cryptids.
Yeah!
Well, the biggest cryptid is, of course, the horrible giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
Plus, Kim, this gives you more opportunities to question the existence of these cryptids with your facts and logic. Wait, what do you mean strange light?
Mirage or psychogenous luminance.
She does not elaborate the nature of this luminance further. And just how big is it?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Is it dangerous?
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
Kim, do you have anything to say about that?
Hooey. No animal can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support.
I mean, I guess it could be a number of things. Could be some atmospheric phenomenon or like some astral phenomenon. I don't know. Or it could just be, the giant of Kokonur. We're talking about a world that has pale in it, so like anything's fair game, as far as I'm concerned.
There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Great. This is great shit. You need more.
Yeah.
Gravity anomaly. Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
What about the tiniest cryptid?
Cryobacter catlensis.
She answers immediately. Cryobacter catlensis?
Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. Certainly from before recorded history, Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Wait, she injected herself with it?
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
I mean, that still doesn't sound like a good idea. Kim, any thoughts?
It's actually a little hard to see. But do go on.
You're still kind of curious about it. You mean there is an immortal geologist wandering the world? I don't understand. Why would you prolong your life? Being alive is terrible. I intend to live forever too, as a symbol. She was preparing for the end times. She wanted to witness and record the twilight proceedings. Immortal bacteria, immortal geologist? That's too wild. The twilight proceedings? I'm just kind of curious about that.
Mijanou did talk about the end of the world a great deal before her abrupt departure. Everyone thought the bacteria had driven her mad, but she really was a brilliant woman. Maybe the Cryobacter catlensis allowed her to see something no one else could.
Okay, are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
You're right, Kim. It's childish, but I need to know. Shush, Kim. She's gonna tell me about the invisible cryptid. What is it?
It's the Col de Mama d'Aqua. Its name means thin whisper of sound, and that's precisely what it is. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. The Col de Mama is very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
The Col de Mama d'Aqua? But that's not necessarily a creature. What does it sound like? Could it be here? Right now? What evidence is there of this animal being a sound? Yeah.
Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 20s, a group of Areopagite ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds,
Yes, thank you.
were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds.
Songbirds? Just nod eagerly.
The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest pitched bat calls.
She transforms, when speaking about these strange animals, into a confident woman.
They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Col de Mama d'Aqua, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent.
Wow.
They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and even began to name some of them.
Name them?
Sequester, Time, Joscan. Those are but some of the Mama d'Aqua they followed individually.
Okay, I'm not sure I get that one. What does it sound like?
Like nothing, it's such a high-pitched sound that us humans can't hear it, nor can other animals. It could be ringing right outside your window and you wouldn't even know it. Could be anywhere. Everywhere, even.
Kim, thoughts?
Fine, I'll bite. How can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
A corpuscle? A living cell? It kind of sounds like there's not much evidence to any of what you're saying, to be honest. Could it be here, right now?
It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
And why is the Mama Dakwa so afraid of us?
That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction.
Extinction?
They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mama Dakwas. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
I guess they cancel out.
This lady really should be a teacher. She's really good at the explaining things thing.
They cancel each other out?
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population.
Great regret washes over her. A winding cloth.
After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Kulta Mama Dakwa population anywhere.
So you just detected this like sound frequency somewhere, and you just assumed it was like a living organism? Am I getting that right?
Of course. A common thread in these. Disappearance and unfalsifiability. I like the story, though, ma'am.
Well, at least you're being nice about it.
I'm glad you did, dear.
She seems genuinely glad. Interesting. What about...
What about what?
This has been educational. Sadly, we need to discuss something else.
Of course, dear.
Man, this episode's getting really long. I'm like at 2.5 hours of recording now. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause here, and I guess we'll keep talking toward the next episode. This is taking too long. I'm sorry. But like, I don't know how long she's gonna keep talking about this stuff, so I need to stop at some point. Alright, well, this has been quite the episode. We learned quite a bit about the Pale, which again is a great concept. I really love it. I hope we get to learn some more about it, but not too much because, you know, things are at their best when you don't know too much about them. I strongly believe that. Had a very good night's sleep, finally. Nice little conversation with Kim as well. And, still haven't seen the body, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna do that in the next episode. At this point, I really feel like it's a running joke, but I really think the next episode might be the one where we finally see the body. I think so. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are as well. But in the meanwhile, that's gonna be it for me today. So until the next time, I had fun playing this. Hope you had fun watching it, and I'll see you in the next one for some more Disco Elysium. À la prochaine.